Handling chemicals safely isn't just about wearing gloves and goggles. Most chemical incidents happen because hazards weren't fully understood before the work started. Whether it's a spill, toxic exposure, fire, or long-term health damage, the root cause is often the same poor hazard assessment. That's why Job Hazard Analysis, or JHA, is one of the most powerful tools in chemical safety. In this video, we'll walk through how to perform a job hazard analysis specifically for chemical tasks, including how to identify hazards, evaluate exposure risks, use safety data sheets effectively, and implement controls using the hierarchy of controls. By the end, you'll understand how to turn potentially dangerous chemical tasks into controlled, safe processes. What is a job hazard analysis? A job hazard analysis is a systematic process used to examine a task in detail before it is performed. The goal is to identify potential hazards at each step and determine the safest way to complete the work. When chemicals are involved, this analysis becomes even more important because risks may not always be visible. Some hazards, such as toxic vapors or long-term exposure effects, can occur without immediate warning signs. A proper JHA helps uncover these hidden risks and ensures appropriate preventive measures are in place. Step 1. Selecting the task. The first step is choosing the chemical task you want to analyze. Priority should be given to tasks involving hazardous substances, activities that are performed frequently, or operations where incidents or near misses have occurred in the past. Step 2. Breaking the task into steps. Once the task is selected, it should be broken down into individual steps in the order they occur. For example, transferring a chemical might include locating the container, opening it, connecting equipment, moving the liquid, and then closing and storing the container again. Breaking the job into smaller steps allows hazards to be identified more accurately, since risks can vary throughout the process. Step 3. Identifying chemical hazards. At this stage, the goal is to identify all hazards associated with each step of the task. Chemical hazards typically fall into 3 broad categories. Number 1. Health hazards include toxic effects, burns, or long-term diseases. Number 2. Physical hazards involve properties such as flammability, reactivity, or explosion risk. Number 3. Environmental hazards relate to contamination of air, soil, or water. The most valuable resource for this step is the Safety Data Sheet, or SDS. Step 4. Understanding exposure routes. Understanding how a chemical can enter the body is critical to evaluating risk. Chemicals may be inhaled as vapors, dust, or fumes, absorbed through the skin, splashed into the eyes, ingested accidentally through contaminated hands, or injected through cuts or punctures. The exposure route often determines which protective measures will be most effective. Step 5. Evaluating risk. Once hazards and exposure routes are identified, the next step is evaluating the level of risk. Risk depends on both the severity of potential harm and the likelihood that exposure will occur. Many organizations use a simple risk matrix to classify risks as low, medium, or high, helping prioritize which hazards need immediate control measures. Other factors, such as how often the task is performed, how long workers are exposed, and how many people are involved, also influence the overall risk level. Step 6. Applying the hierarchy of controls. After determining the risk level, appropriate controls should be implemented following the hierarchy of controls. The most effective approach is always to eliminate the hazard if possible. If elimination is not feasible, substitution with a less hazardous chemical may significantly reduce risk. Engineering controls, such as ventilation systems or closed transfer equipment, can physically separate workers from hazards. Administrative controls, including procedures, training, and scheduling adjustments, help manage exposure. Finally, personal protective equipment provides a barrier between the worker and the hazard, but it should be considered the last line of defense rather than the primary solution. Step 7. Emergency preparedness. A thorough job hazard analysis also considers what might happen if something goes wrong. This means evaluating spill response procedures, availability of eye wash stations or emergency showers, first aid readiness, and emergency communication protocols. Preparing for worst-case scenarios reduces the severity of incidents when they occur. Step 8. Documentation and communication. Once the analysis is complete, it is important to document the findings and communicate them to workers. Procedures should be updated, training provided, and safety data sheets made easily accessible. Regular reviews ensure the analysis remains accurate when processes or chemicals change. Job hazard analysis is not just a compliance requirement, it is a proactive safety tool that prevents injuries, protects health, and improves workplace confidence. When chemical hazards are properly understood and controlled, dangerous tasks become manageable operations. In chemical safety, understanding the hazard is the first step toward prevention.